Stardom, spiritualism, politics. 3 worlds, 1 man. Few have traversed these boundaries. Few have transcended them with ease and stayed real. I'm delighted to have a rendezvous tonight with a man of many avatars, Vinod Khanna, and his elegant wife, Kavita. Vinod, congratulations on becoming a member of Parliament.
Thank you, Simi.
I'm very proud of you.
I'm proud of myself.
But listen, I didn't know you were a political animal.
No, it's not that I was a political animal. That's why I came in the foreground. It's just that I felt that this country now needs a change, in policies, in a government. And I think people like us, who used to sit in our sitting rooms and discuss politics and criticize the government, have now to come forward and do work for the nation. And it just happened that people trusted me. I think they trusted me.
That's
and also
right.
the alliance.
They trusted you despite the fact that you hadn't had any political experience, or maybe because of it.
Maybe that's why, because I had a clean record.
You have the saffron robes anyway from your previous avatar.
Yes.
Do you have a thick skin?
Thick skin.
You need that for politics.
No, I think today you have to be very sharp, very, very together, very aware. I think that's the kind of politician is needed now. And somebody who really wants to work. I think any MP who doesn't work for his constituency has no business to be there.
True. You've lived life pretty much on your own terms. You've been through many avatars. In June 1978, when you were at the peak of stardom, you had a family of your own. At a press conference at Natraj Studios, you announced your decision to quit and join Osho. What made you do that?
My own mind. My mind was thinking too much. My mind was, very hyper. My thoughts were all over the place. I was very angry.
Were you?
I was, in the sense, I think I'd reached a saturation point. People can press your buttons and make you react. Your emotions, anger, everything is not under your control. But yet I used to be able to see that, yes, when I meditate, these things don't affect me at all. You become the master of your own mind. And these were the things that drove me to say that, okay, I've had enough of films, I've given enough of time, I've made enough money. And I felt that now if I really want to go deeper into meditation, I need to give my full time to it. I have to live in an ashram, I have to live at the feet of my guru. So obviously, there was a need within me.
We all have our inner needs, but a lot of us are held back due to convention, due to obligation, so many things. That didn't hold you back, did it, Vinod?
See, I've never done anything unless I felt that it's a total commitment, and it's, that I can do with my heart and soul. I've involved myself in anything that I've done, whether it was work, family, children, friends, everything. So, you have to give it that totality of yourself. That's your inner voice telling you.
Some people at that time, I remember, said that it was a bit of self-indulgence.
It is. Unless you're selfish, you can't do anything like this. Because it's your own being that has to find that transcendence. It has to find that.
What did your family say when you talked to them about it?
They were unhappy, of course, initially, yes. But then everybody has to travel alone. You come alone, you go alone. Eventually yourself, you have to travel the path.
But at what cost?
But there was no cost.
But the cost is there because when a man does create a family, it is a responsibility. And leaving that family, for whatever reasons, is considered an abnegation of duties or responsibilities.
No, I was very much in touch with my family. It's not that I've run away. I was in touch with my family. I was providing everything.
But a long-distance father.
Yes, it was. That was just for a few years.
Did you not worry about your future financial security at that time because you were not earning?
No. I was always sure if I wanted to make money, I could come back and work again.
You're very lucky.
I was very fortunate, yes. My fans were still there, and when I decided to work, the industry gave me a terrific response.
The chair was kept warm for you. Abhi aa raha hai, abhi aa raha hai. Today, are you still in quest?
No, not at all. I found my peace. Yes.
It's great to have you here, Kavita.
Thank you, Simi. It's great to be here.
You know, your friends who've known you as Kavita Duff 3 say they never could have imagined that you'd marry a movie star one day. Did you?
Neither could I. I still can't believe I married a movie star.
But before you met him, what did the name Vinod Khanna mean to you?
Nothing. I knew that he was an actor, but nothing more than that.
Didn't you see films or anything?
Yes, I'd seen a few of the early ones like An Milo Sajna, and I saw Amar Akbar Anthony. I did see a few, but nothing, the name didn't really mean anything to me other than that he was a film actor.
So then how did he really come on the scene?
By accident.
What happened?
Yeah, I want to see if he remembers what happened. Vinod was having a party at his house that I was not invited to, but some friends of ours were invited, and they asked me to go with them. So I went with them, and when I look back now, I think it was destiny, because I've never done that before, and I've never done it after. And that's how we met.
The earth didn't move on its axis that day.
No.
No.
During the party, I didn't notice anything. And then, of course, she remained in my mind. I called her, I said, maybe we can go out. And then she kept ignoring my calls, so she wouldn't go out.
I didn't ignore his calls. He asked me out, and I said that, Vinod, I don't mind having you as a friend, but forget about going out for dinner, my going to a party with you or anything like that.
Why?
Because, Simi, I was 28 then. I think I could anticipate what would follow if I went out on a date with Vinod, what the implications of that were. And that was not something I wanted. I was very clear about that.
So we used to have these long conversations on the telephone.
He used to phone me 5 times a day and ask me out, and I would keep saying no.
Very
and he was just very persistent.
I told you I do everything totally.
Yeah. How long did this go on?
One very intense month. I just didn't know what to do, because I enjoyed speaking to him. And we did meet at parties. It's not that I didn't meet him at all, because we were invited to the same parties. And it seems silly to have these conversations that you really enjoy with a person, and then not to take that. It is then unnatural beyond a point not to meet, because there was obviously a friendship there. And so I just said to him, I said, Vinod, I'm going jogging. If you want, you can join me. So I went to his house, fetched him, and we went jogging. And then after that, we were just together every day till the day we got married.
That jog did it. You made him run after you.
Really? Yeah.
But has any girl ever resisted you so much, Vinod? Such batao. Cornering you.
No.
That's interesting. So what convinced you that he was the right man for you?
All I knew was that I enjoyed being with him. In fact, Vinod was very clear that he didn't want to get married again. And he had told me that, because I was at that age where marriage was certainly a possibility.
Of course. So how did you feel about it when he said that?
It didn't matter to me, because I enjoyed being with him so much.
You were ready to take him on without marriage?
Yes. And even if it was not a permanent thing, I was very clear that for what I was getting from the relationship at that point in time, I wanted it. And I did this against the advice of everyone.
Your family?
Everyone. Family, friends, everyone.
Really? What did they say?
They just said that, you're 28, you're with somebody who's so high profile. He's told you he doesn't want to marry you, so what do you think you're doing? It was very unconventional. And it was not that they had anything against him. They really liked him, but they just thought that it was not the right thing to do.
And why were you against it?
No, I didn't want to get, kind of tied down into a family again and, all that. that was at that given time. Then of course, you know, the more I saw of her, the more I fell in love with her, and you know, and I felt that no, I think I would like to be married to her. So when I asked her, I mean, she was surprised as well.
How did this happen?
Vinod had gone down to play badminton, and he came up in his shorts, all hot and sweaty, and we were sitting together, and he asked me, he said, would you like to be married? You know, would you like to get married? And I thought this was a philosophical, abstract question. And I said, I must be honest, because I did want to be married. I did want to go through the experience of marriage. And I said, yes. And then he said, will you marry me? And without thinking, I said yes. And that was it.
What made you decide?
I realized that, you see, you can't go on like this forever, you know. You either say that you're going to get married or just stop this relationship. You know, you can't keep her hanging also. She was young, she was bright, she's very well educated, she comes from a big family, great family. And even if it is marriage once over again, I must do that. And it was something that came from my heart, you know, so it was not something that just happened. When I felt that need, I felt that commitment, you know, I said yes.
For you, everything is the first time round, as you said. You know, for him, he has done it before, marriage, kids. Does he join in with the same enthusiasm as you want?
I think he's very enthusiastic, mentally and emotionally, but physically I do most of it myself. I don't know, I think that at a certain age, you're doing different things. Parenting works best if you're doing it together at a certain age. And Vinod is now 50, I'm 37. And I don't know, it's not something we've thought about, but that's just the way it's evolved.
What kind of a father are you this time around?
I think I'm a better father, in the sense that at this age, you know, whatever the children need most from me is the love, and I pour love onto them. So
you're nuts about your daughter.
I'm nuts about both my kids, yes.
All four of them.
Yes.
How different is it to have a girl?
You know, she can come and sit on my head early in the morning, and nobody dare do that. And she comes, you know, just, Daddy, I want this, and Daddy, I want that. She comes from a different world, I would say. She comes already, you know, females are very gentle, very soft, very loving, caring. I mean, if she knows that, you know, if I tell her that I got hurt today, she'd be the first one to start crying, or she'll come and, you know, kiss me there, and she'll be, you know, so the boys don't do that at all.
What is your relationship with Rahul and Akshay?
Very good. I don't know how to define it. I'm certainly not a mother figure, but I hope I'm a friend to both of them.
Was there any resentment at all in the beginning?
Even if there was any, I think they're too well brought up to have shown it.
So it didn't take much adjustment?
I think it took a lot more adjustment on their part, very little on mine. For me, it was, you know, they were part of Vinod. You know, I may not be able to show it to them, I may not be able to express it, because there are certain relationships which are very delicate. But I feel for them exactly what I feel for him.
Kavita, you come from, as you were saying, one of the most prominent industrial families, and you have had academic qualifications which are almost too numerous to mention. Can you just tell me a little bit about them?
I got a scholarship from the Canadian government when I was after I completed the 11th standard, to do the International Baccalaureate, which is a Swiss equivalent of the A-levels. So I went to one of the United World Colleges in Canada. I was there for 2 years, and I think I topped that internationally. So that took me to the London School of Economics, where I did a degree in accounting and finance, and then went on to do the equivalent of the LLB in 1 year.
Gosh.
And then became a barrister. And at the same time, I also did, yes, from Lincoln. I'm a barrister from Lincoln's Inn. I also did 2 master's courses, but because I didn't do the thesis, I don't have those 2 master's degrees.
Overeducated, I'd say. What do you think? But is it necessary, do you feel, for a woman to give up her career to make a marriage work?
Sometimes it is. I think it depends on the man, it depends on the family.
Was your wish, was it, Vinod, at all?
Well, my wish for her to be with me all the time, you know, and I would go for these long schedules of outdoor. And we had a great time, you know, going together everywhere. She didn't know anything about the film industry.
Yes, how did you fit into this film environment? You must
Bizarre. I don't know if I fit into it. Because our wedding was so sudden, we didn't really have a honeymoon. 5 days after we were married, Vinod was off shooting in Madras in the month of May. And he was at Kovalam, where they directed the set, which was, you know, the Don's Adda. And I was absolutely scandalized by what I saw. And I couldn't understand, you know, for me was, you know, culture shock was because I was Vinod's wife and, you know, this new bride. Anywhere I went, a chair would follow me and this umbrella would follow me. And I just thought that, you know, they were...
This is unreal.
Yeah, I thought that, what are they doing? I mean, you know, aren't these people all real?
Kavita has a very analytical mind. Do you tap this? Do you use her mind, Vinod?
Well, yes and no, in the sense that it's like now elections, yeah? We went to elections and she was very clear about her role. And I was very happy the way she projected herself. And I used her clarity, definitely, to address the people. And she did that in the manner that she felt proper. So wherever is necessary, she has the freedom to do what she wants. I mean, there's no, I don't curb her intelligence or application or anything like that. And I respect her the way she thinks, you know, she wants to be clear about everything. You know, there are times where I feel that these are things that you should know without even thinking, but she wants to be very clear before she makes the decision. You know, I'm very spontaneous, I'm very instinctive straight away, which she's not. You know, if I say a sentence to her, I mean, she will say, no, but you sit down and clear it with me. So I said, no, what is there to clear?
You're precise, that's the lawyer.
Yeah.
Every detail has to be very clear.
She likes that, you know, and gradually I've understood her. Earlier I used to get a little impatient on, you know, small issues of deciding who should go to buy the bananas or...
Is Vinod an easy person to live with?
He's a very taxing person to live with. But that's Vinod, and, you know, that's what I liked about him when I first started talking to him, was that, you know, you were extending boundaries of thought. And but it was wonderful to do at midnight, you know, when I was in that space. To have to do it every day in the routine things in life is taxing. But then, you know, I think that the strengths that you have carried to an extreme, for all of us, also become our weaknesses. Like, he admires my mind, but, you know, when it gets too analytical, he doesn't like it.
Up to a point.
Yeah.
Vinod, are you an easy person to live with? What would you say?
I am very easy to live with. Yes.
I knew you'd say that.
No, provided that you are easy to live with. Yeah, it's simple. I mean, you see, two people understand each other. There's no conflict at all. And if there's any conflict, it's because there is a gap somewhere which one of us hasn't understood.
Is it easy to understand you?
It's difficult.
You admit.
It is.
Sure.
It's difficult because, you know, of my entire life that I've led so far, the entire understanding that has come about through those experiences. I feel that she is young. She is a person who has to learn a lot.
What do you people fight about most?
We don't really fight. There's nothing like that. But we may have an argument about something that is not clear about certain thing. Yeah, she gets a little naraz ho jati kabhi.
But I know that, and more now, you know, Vinod and I have different views on a lot of things. And then we tend to, sometimes we're quite vocal about them.
You communicate a lot. You discuss things a lot.
Whatever has to be discussed. Yeah. But you see, today there are so many other things to do which take priority. But whenever there is some question, I think Kavita stopped asking questions. So therefore we don't discuss
Is he capable of adjusting easily?
Yes.
I think Vinod's quite set in his ways. You know, and I think also because when I just first got married to him, I looked up to him so much. I was in awe of him. So I think I laid the ground to change everything about myself. If I look back now, I should have just held my ground and said that, okay, now, you know, I don't care that you're so much older than me. You have to meet me halfway. And because I'm a woman, you have to meet me more than halfway. I should have, you know, done that.
You have submerged your identity.
Simi, my submerging my identity or losing my identity on the outside seems to have happened because we now interact with people who are primarily Vinod's friends. So therefore, everything revolves around Vinod. But I don't think that I've lost myself in that. Because Vinod was a star in his, you know, his world, but I was in mine as well. Not as big a star as him, but, you know, people respected me for the work I was doing, for a lot of things that I was doing. And then suddenly to come into this and then have to grow into in an alien atmosphere, I think has been a learning experience for me.
Tell me, if you could change something about him, if you could, what would you like to change?
One thing would be that I wish he would listen to me more.
But every wife must. You don't listen to her enough, Vinod. क्यों नहीं सुनते हो?
मैं बहुत सुनता हूँ.
It's I think it has a lot to do with the meditation and self-realization. The path of self-realization that Vinod has been on does look to the self first.
How do you rate the way you've conducted your life?
9 out of 10.
How would you rate the way he has conducted his life?
From his point of view, I would say 10 on 10 because he's done what he wanted on his terms. And I think that that's admirable. But from the point of view of people around him, I'd say 6.
You've shared his load in the electioneering campaign just now. What sort of an experience was it for you, Kavita?
I would say it's been the single most positive experience in my life.
Do you feel it's given your marriage a new direction?
Yes, I think it has. I think it's allowed us, you know, there's been a paradigm shift, not just in the marriage, but in our lives. And I think that very few people get this opportunity to, you know, start from scratch, as I said, well armed, to do something all over again. It's a new beginning for both of us.
You know, it's been so delightful talking to both of you. Thank you so much for this rendezvous.
Thanks, Simi.
Lovely.